Hi guys, I'm very orange, and that is because it is getting dark and it's technically still July 31st, but I was going to start the vlog today, my first vlog in like 8 months. Take it easy on me. We're gonna try this out. So I am participating in the Orilium Academy readathon. That's like book roast readathon. That used to be the magical readathon. She has changed it due to J.K. Rowling turning out to be kind of an awful person. So, hi everyone. It is Monday evening. It is the 1st. Still, it is just hit 7 o'clock. I just got home. I finished Cemetery Boys. Did not love it, gonna be honest. I really didn't like it. I thought it was boring. Sorry. I thought it was boring. I thought the main character was so spoiled and just so apart from reality. Like, there's like someone killing brujos out there, and he just like, he kept staying out late, not telling his parents where he was going, and then being annoyed at how unreasonable they were being. I'm like, dude, there's like, your cousin is legit missing. Like, his body is missing. Also, you know, the two guys only knew each other for 3 days. It was between 2 and 4. I got a little lost in the timeline of events, but I mean, no more than 4 days. And I was like, dudes, buds, calm down. It was a bit ridiculous. It was a bit absurd. I really didn't enjoy it. I feel like I didn't understand the point the author was trying to make, because stuff should have happened, like, I felt like he was trying to make a certain message, or like, you know, put forth a certain message, but then the end villain kind of ruined that. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Nothing actually was awful. I just really didn't enjoy it. Now, I did not get through almost any of Blackout, and it is almost 500 pages. So I'm going to switch the book, which is sad. I really wanted to read Blackout, and I thought I'd be able to read more today, but I just didn't. I was getting to know my coworkers, and we were just having a good time. So I am going to read Out of Time Book 1 by Monique Martin. First book being Out of Time. I'm excited. It is about a guy and a woman who know about time travel, and they get sent back in time. I think there are vampires and stuff, and they fall in love. So, yeah. Hi guys, it's 10:30, and surprise, surprise, I have changed my TBR a little bit. I did not like Out of Time. I didn't like the love interest slash one of the two main characters at all. He was really misogynistic and holy, like better than thou, not holier than thou. And like, it was just not it. I wasn't really into it. So I read a very short graphic novel called I Killed Adolf Hitler. It was good, it was fine. It was like 48 pages, so really short, really easy. He goes back in time, Adolf comes forward in time. There's a little bit of time travel in there. Yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It is 10:30. I am actually really getting tired, but I am going to actually go out to my car and get The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore and start that. And read as much as I can before I just zonk out. Because, yeah, I'm trying to read a lot in the next couple days, so I would not mind getting some sort of head start. Even if it's just like 100 pages, I really wouldn't mind getting that. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm going to call it a night, and I will update you tomorrow morning before I head to Salt Lake. Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. I am leaving today, but I'm just hanging out for a little bit. I'm gonna eat breakfast, maybe get coffee on my way. I kind of hope so if I have enough time. But I only got like 60 pages the way through The Crystal Shard. I was really tired. I fell asleep immediately after I finished those 60 pages. And then I realized this morning, so Sunday, like, I was gonna bring Petals to the Metal, but I don't really want to bring another physical book. So I'm listening to Alice in Wonderland right now, which is to read, it's for Inscription, Glyph, Recollection, to read a childhood favorite. Is next for Q is Inking Techniques, to read a graphic novel, comic, or manga. And I am going to read the Chronicles of Xandria for that. So that is my plan right now. I am not very far into Alice in Wonderland. This is, I borrowed an edition where it's only spoken dialogue, so it's really short, but it's still Alice in Wonderland. It's a new way of reading it, so I'm still counting it, but it's only an hour long. So yeah, I've got like 45 minutes left. So I'm gonna get to that, and I probably won't finish it before I leave, but I might update you. We'll see. I mean, odds are, because it's Alice in Wonderland, it's gonna be 5 stars, but we'll see. And I'll talk to you all later. Hi guys, it's Thursday evening. I did not update you at all while I was gone, but I just, you know, a lot was happening, and I just decided while I was in Salt Lake, I was not going to update. But that does not mean I didn't do some reading. I did some serious reading. I did a lot of reading. I finished over the past, from Tuesday to Thursday, I finished 9 books so far. I am like 50 pages away from the end of my last one, but I actually can't finish that one because there was a betrayal. And I'm going to make that the betrayal book instead of the Inheritance of Orquídea Divina, because I don't know if there's an actual betrayal in that. I was going based off of the fact that it's like a family inheritance drama, and I assumed. But this one, I know there's a betrayal, so I'm just not going to finish the book and count it, because G at Book Roast's rule is basically like you just have to finish them in order. You do not need to start them in order. So I do still have to read Spellslinger for read a book whose colors are similar to the country's flag, so the USA. It doesn't have blue in it. It's Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell, but it does have red and white, and those are 2 of my country's 3 colors, red, white, and blue. And this was for lore. That is to get an O. For Q, the myth of Sildoris is to read a story featuring betrayal. And that is what I am going to make The Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman be included for. I was in Salt Lake, finished the books that I had been planning on like using for the entire 3 days in one day, and I was like, okay. I had gone to Barnes & Noble, picked up a few books, so I decided to pick this guy up. It's relatively short. I'm enjoying it. It's a Dungeons & Dragons tale. I think it's based, no, I know it is based on someone's like actual D&D campaign. I don't know if this is like a retelling, like an adaptation of it, or in the future, because they're all coming back together when they're a bit older. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so the first book that I read was to get an O in Inscription, which is Glyph, Recollection, and to read a childhood favorite. I finished Alice in Wonderland. I can't remember if I told you about that. It was just dialogue, which was kind of interesting. It was an audiobook, which I didn't like love, but I still love Alice in Wonderland, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read, stick with me here, to get an O in Demonology, it is Imp Wrangling. To read a fantasy, I read The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore, the first book in the Icewind Dale trilogy. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't love this trilogy as much as the first one. The first book didn't even really need to be in it. It doesn't really connect to the other 2 except introducing 2 of our newer main characters, but it was just so unnecessary. So I gave that one a 3.25 out of 5 stars. Honestly, didn't love it, which was kind of sad. But then I was in line at an amusement park, and I read 2 graphic novels. The first one was to get an O in Animal Studies, and this is Study of Familiars, read a book with a familiar or an animal companion. I went with the Mighty Nine Origins Caleb comic or graphic novel because he has a familiar cat named Frumpkin. It was so short. It was 60 pages. It was so much shorter than I thought it would be, but I enjoyed it and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then for an O in demonology, it is Caro, Demon of Chaos, and that was to do a random number on your TBR, and I got Jester, the graphic novel, The Mighty Nine Origins Jester, which I read, also surprised it was short, also gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then for elemental studies, to get an O, I read Elements of Water, and that is to start a book with a drink, and I did start Streams of Silver with a drink, and it's in the title, like stream, water, perfect. I enjoyed this one the most out of the series, and I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. And then I read another graphic novel, and that was after a childhood favorite for Inscription. It was Q, Inking Techniques to Read a Graphic Novel, Comic, or Manga. I read The Chronicles of Xandria, which was Beau's journal in Campaign 2. Marisha Ray's character Beauregard is like religious at taking notes, and kind of like she's just known for it. And so this is basically a sneak peek into her journal and like her first impressions on important people in the campaign. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I liked the idea and I had a good time. Then to get a D in Elemental Studies, or Q in Elemental Studies, it was Wind Redirection, and that was to point at a random book blindly and choose the book below it. And I pointed at this book, because it was a 3-in-1, I said I pointed at Streams of Silver and read Halfling's Gem for that. This is my second favorite in the trilogy. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. On the whole, didn't love it, but absolutely will be continuing because I really love Drizzt and I'm excited to see what happens with him next. Okay, that finished day 1. Day 2, that is when I got a majority of the way through Dragons of Autumn Twilight. I only had 100 pages left to read of this. Enjoyed it. And then I also read for Transmutation, no, to get an O in Shapeshifting, it was Formation Wings, and to read a book with wings on the cover. And I read Once More Upon a Time by Roshni Chokshi. This was I don't think it was a retelling so much as a mashup of different fairy tales with a little bit of an original one thrown in there, where there was a princess and a prince who fell in love and became king and queen of this like plot of land, or this like piece of land that only people in love can rule over. And they thought they were in love, but then she's poisoned like a day after their wedding, and he agrees to give up his love for her life. And so they are allowed to be king and queen for a year and a day, and then they are both kind of like, she is taken back home and he is exiled. But then the witch who gave them that curse, or I mean blessing, curse, healed her, a bunch of like, you know, a bunch of stuff happened. She offered to, like, she was like, hey, if you do this for me, you won't have to be exiled and leave. I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was short, but today I got a, what is it? I got an O in Restoration, which was object restoration, a single object as the focus of the cover. And I did the object. There are 2 hands kind of like this on the cover, but one is a monster hand, and I feel like that is the object of focus. This is about a guy whose family is like plagued by monsters. I thought it was gonna be more horror than it was, especially at the beginning. It was feeling spooky. The writing was atmospheric, the tension was high, but it didn't really get there. And then, you know, it kind of turned into the main guy started doing stuff with the monster, if you catch my drift, and that was very unexpected. I was driving home today and I was just like, ah! I was like, what? It was a lot. It was something. And it went on like 4 hours of the audiobook, longer than it should have. It like finished and it could have wrapped up and been good, and then it like kept going on, and I was like, you're done. You're done. Especially because it really pushed the whole romance between the main character and the monster, and I just couldn't get into it. But that is it. Oh, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Tomorrow I will definitely be reading Finley Donovan is Killing It. I don't know where it is at this exact second. It might be in my car, which I'm excited about. It's about a girl or a woman who is writing a book, but someone overhears her and thinks she is a hitman and hires her. I'm excited. I have heard from multiple people that they love this book. I am pumped. And that is to read a book starting with L, or no, that just has an L in the title. It's to get an O in astronomy for Lileve, letter L in the title. Not starting with L, nothing like that, just has L in the title. And Finlay Donovan is killing it. There's 3 L's, boom, done. And then the next book I'll be reading is for a Q in Psionics and Divination, Time Theory 2, book with the same word in the title as your last read. I'll be reading Finlay Donovan Knocks Them Dead. I don't know, I think it depends, what time is it? It's only 9, I got a adapter to adapt my SD card from my camera to my computer. I'm going to try to do some editing, and if I do have to get up at 6 tomorrow to drive, which really just sucks, but if I do feel like it and get in the mood, or it's not too late, I am going to pick up the Adventure Zone Petals to the Metal, which had to do with like pick up random color from a color wheel. I got purple, and that's the color on the cover, and there is a fair amount of purple in this. So it's a quick, you know, graphic novel. Love me a good graphic novel, especially the Adventure Zone, because I've been having such a good time with these, especially after finishing the podcast, because now it's like I'm just so connected to these characters and I know everything. It's amazing. So I might try to pick this up tonight, because this will get me an O in spells and incantations. For spell recolor, use a color wheel and pick a book matching said color, which was purple. So today is Finlay Donovan is killing it. I probably won't be updating you until a lot later, and then I do have Dungeons and Dragons tonight. So I am really trying to focus on reading a lot at work, which sounds awful, but this job, like especially when I'm working in the park, it's slow, and they're like, please bring whatever you need to like get through the day, and that if that's books, if that's yarn to knit, if that's TV, like anything, so that you can just get through it. So I'm going to try to do some reading and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'll talk to you all later. Hi guys, it is 10:20 on Friday night. I just want to let you know that it was dead at work today, and in the park you're allowed to read, and I started and finished Finlay Donovan is Killing It, and I really enjoyed this. This was so much fun. This is about a woman, a single mom, who is trying to write a book and finish her, like, I can't remember if it's her, I think it's got to be at least her second book that she's published, but I'm not sure. And someone overhears her talk about like how to like kill people in her book and thinks she's a hit woman. It was so funny. It was so much fun. I was actively laughing out loud. All of the connections and stuff, I just had such a great time. And this went for Lileve to read a book with L in it, and there's Finlay Donovan is Killing It. So boom. The next book I'm going to read is for Time Theory number 2, and that is to read a book with a word that matches a book title from your last read, and I'm going with Finlay Donovan Knocks Them Dead. Finlay Donovan, boom. I'm excited about this one. The ending of the first one definitely like opened up to like what's like going to be the plot in the second one. I like Finlay a lot. I love Vero, her kind of sidekick. The love interests are fine, you know, they're good. I like them both. So they're about the same length. This one's like 5 pages shorter. So unfortunately I am working from Jackson tomorrow, where I don't have like unfettered access to like being able to just read a book. Even though there is a lot of sitting around, it's more like, yeah, you can be on your phone, but I don't see anyone like reading. So I'm not going to. I think I forgot to mention that I started a new audiobook, and it is for the second prompt in, Conjuration, which is the one class that I need to get like a full D in, like OQD. And for the second prompt, it is to read a book with bones in the cover, or on the cover, or in the title, and I'm listening to The Bone Ship by R.J. Parker, I think. And this is about a world where like ships are built from the bones of dragons, and dragons are like depleted, but there's rumor that one has been seen. And so our main character's crew is going to try and find that dragon to protect it, to bring peace between these two warring island conglomerates. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm 7 hours into a 17-hour audiobook, so I've got like 10 hours left. I'm enjoying it. It's taking a little bit for me to like really super get into it, but the narrator's phenomenal. Like his voice decisions are like not what I would have expected, but are really, really good. So I'm really excited about it. On my phone, I do have Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes on Libby. And this goes for the very first prompt, which is like a book on someone's worst list that you think you'll like. Kayla from Books and Lala read it in the 48-hour Dewey's readathon and didn't like it. And so I'm just taking it from that because I already had it. I do have the physical copy from the library, but because I do need something on my phone, I'm just going to read it on my phone tomorrow. Hi guys, the lighting is terrible, so sorry about that. I'm just getting ready, so there we go, I guess that works. I have read 100 pages of Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. I'm enjoying it. I kind of wished that there was a little bit more development on her part in some ends of things from the last book. Like, I wish she wasn't still missing deadlines and stuff. I'm like, really? Could this not have been fixed from the last book with like her awesome ideas and stuff? Like, could this have been something that she's killing it at? No. And then like the issues with her husband, I feel like she is just, because something at the end of the last book makes her scared for her ex-husband's life. And so she's like scared to like leave the kids with him. And so I get it, but like she's not telling him. So like he just thinks she's being awful and keeping the kids from him. Hi guys, I've got to make this quick. I am going into work. I got here like an hour and a half too early because I forgot that they open on 10 on the weekends and not 9, and I'd already gotten here early. But I am now 200 pages into Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead, and I am really enjoying it. Really excited to see what happens. I am definitely all for her dating one of the two love interests. Like at the end of the first book, I was like, whatever. Now I definitely want her with one over the other, and I think it is going that way. But anyways, I've got to go into work. I just thought I'd update you that I'm 200 pages in and enjoying it. Hi guys, it is pouring outside, so my hair is a little wet, but it is, what time is it? It's 6:30. I am back from work. I also am back from eating dinner. I went to my mom's house and had some dinner. But I thought I would talk about what my plans are for the evening. I was going to film, but honestly, it's like, you can just hear the rain, I'm sure, and the lighting isn't great. So tomorrow it's not supposed to be rainy. So I think after work is only 10 to like 4 on the weekends. I think I am going to hold off and film the 2 other videos I want to put out in August tomorrow. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the evening is finish Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. I have 150 pages left. I think I updated you and then I went into work, so that's what you've gotten from me. Now, because it's early, right, I think I'm going to finish Finlay Donovan, and then I want to pick up the Crystal Kingdom, which was for I can't remember what like the category is or the class, but the prompt is to read a book with artificial intelligence, and in this book there is a robot. So boom, artificial intelligence. And then I do also really want to try to pick up Vox Machina Origins Volume 1, because I did finish the prompt before that, which was to read a book with an L in the title, because Vox Machina Origins Volume 1 goes for read a book with archers or rangers. And Vexalia is a ranger and she is an archer. So there we go. I'm also more than halfway through the Bone Chips and I'm enjoying it. Our main character is a coward. And I think that's a really interesting take and an interesting choice, because he's a good guy and you like him, but he's a bit of a coward. And I find that very fascinating. You don't read a lot of books where the main character is like an abject coward. And he's like, I'm scared to do this. I don't want to do this because I'm scared. I'm scared of this person. I'm scared of like what this means. But like, it makes sense because he was put in a position that no one at 19 should be put in, and he's scared. Hey guys, it is 8. I finished Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I did enjoy it. I'm giving it 3.75, 4 out of 5 stars, so less than the first, but it's a good time. I am definitely going to pick up the 3rd book when it comes out. So yeah, another book done. I'm feeling really great, you know? So now I'm going to read The Adventure Zone, The Crystal Kingdom, and Vox Machina Origins Volume 1. And then I'm going to really pick up Dead Silence because that's the next book I'll be like reading. But I did already get through 100 pages today at work because I got the Libby ebook of it as well as like the hardcover library book. So I am 100 pages into it. This is about a woman who was captain of this space crew that found this missing luxury liner that's been missing for 20 years. Like 650 people died on it and like no one knew what happened. It's supposed to be a horror. It's a slow going horror. I have like 243 pages left. It's not that long of a book and it is going a little slow. Hey guys, it's 9 something, closer to 10 than 9, but I have finished The Crystal Kingdom. I really liked it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is the part in the campaign where I really was all in. I was like, yep, I'm into it, I'm done, I'm loving it. And so it is no different with the graphic novels. I'll talk to you tomorrow once either I've made some good progress on Dead Silence, finished Vox Machina, we'll see. Hi guys, it is 5:47 on Sunday. I just found out that the people who I'm house sitting for aren't getting back tomorrow like planned, so I am going to film. I think I'm going to try to spend tomorrow editing and uploading at my mom's house, and then on Tuesday I will film my last 2 videos that I want to film. I think that's my plan, but I am almost 200 pages into this and I am really disappointed and bored. I think we got all of the like somewhat what could be considered the horror in this book. I think we got all those scenes. I think it's done. Because our main character is recounting what happened and she's just said, and I don't really remember anything after that. I'm like, we got like 30 pages of them actually like experiencing maybe kind of scary things. And that's it. I am like so disappointed and sad. This isn't horror. How is that horror? It was 30 pages. What's gonna happen with the last 148? No, 140, like 4. I'm just sad because this had so much potential of being scary. I need to read more horror, you know? I'm realizing that about myself. I want books, like specific books, to be scary, and when they aren't, I'm so let down, but I'm not reading like adult horror novels. I want to be scared. I can't remember if I told you, but last night I did read 90 something pages of Vox Machina Origins 1. It's going fine. I'm not loving it, but that's also partially because I don't love Vox Machina. I actually like actively dislike most of the members. And like didn't think Vex could get much worse. Turns out she can, and she's a lot worse. And like, wow, I guess Laura really had some character development that I just didn't notice because I kind of hate Vex. And I know, hot take, if you watch Critical Role and love Vexalia, you know, you're valid. I cannot stand her. Hi guys, it is 5:47 on Sunday. I just found out that the people who I'm house sitting for aren't getting back tomorrow like planned, so I am going to film. I think I'm going to try to spend tomorrow editing and uploading at my mom's house, and then on Tuesday I will film my last 2 videos that I want to film. I think that's my plan. But I am almost 200 pages into this and I am really disappointed and bored. I think we got all of the like somewhat what could be considered the horror in this book. I think we got all those scenes. I think it's done. Because our main character is recounting what happened and she's just said, and I don't really remember anything after that. I'm like, we got like 30 pages of them actually like experiencing maybe kind of scary things. And that's it. I am like so disappointed and sad. This isn't horror. How is that horror? It was 30 pages. What's gonna happen with the last and 48. No, 140, like 4. I'm just sad because this had so much potential of being scary. I need to read more horror, you know? I'm realizing that about myself. I want books, like specific books, to be scary, and when they aren't, I'm so let down, but I'm not reading like adult horror novels. I want to be scared. I don't think okay, besides the cabin at the bottom of the lake, or house at the bottom of the lake, scared me so badly, and that's really it as far as I can remember of books that have actively like scared me. And that's just what I want sometimes out of life, you know, and this isn't giving it. So I'm really sad now that she's like, I don't remember anything after that. I'm like, is it just, are we never gonna get another then chapter? Like, is it just gonna be boring bureaucracy stuff from here on out? I'm like so sad. I'm not reading, it's just chapters are like now and then, and if like, but it only differentiates when there's like an actual change. So there'll be like a few chapters in the then point of view, but only once is it said then. And I'm like, I swear if there's not another then chapter, I don't know if there is. I don't think there is. And I'm honestly kind of jaded. Why are people thinking this is horror? Unless like there's stuff in the present timeline that I don't know about, which might be the case. Cause yeah, I flipped through almost the whole thing and there isn't a then. Yeah, I flipped through the whole thing and there isn't another then chapter. That's stupid. I can't remember if I told you, but last night I did read 90 something pages of Vox Machina Origins 1. It's going fine. I'm not loving it, but that's also partially because I don't love Vox Machina. I actually like actively dislike most of the members. And like, didn't think Vex could get much worse. Turns out she can, and she's a lot worse. And like, wow, I guess Laura really had some character development that I just didn't notice because I kind of hate Vex. And I know, hot take, if you watch Critical Role and love Vexalia, you know, you're valid. I cannot stand her. She's like, sometimes she's my least favorite, sometimes Percy is. But they are at the bottom of my list of favorite characters in Vox Machina. Tyrion Darrington is #1 and shall always be #1. Then it's Scanlan and Vax, that kind of flip-flop. Then it's Grog or Pike. Pike's not there enough, I think, for me to like really, but like I like her, she's fine. And then it's Keyleth, then Vex and Percy, flip-flop bottom. I feel like that's a hot take, but you know, I don't care. I cannot stand Vex and Percy. Almost everything they do really angers me, and I kind of hate both of them, like a lot. So yeah, I don't love Vox Machina, or Vox Machina Origins. I'm not loving it, but it's interesting and it's fun and it's fast-paced and whatever. And Bone Ships. I am almost 3/4 of the way through it. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of like, I don't think it needed to be as long as it is. But it's getting to like a climactic point, I think. But I'm not really sure. I guess I missed what the actual end goal was. I thought it was one thing, but I think it's actually something else. And I don't actually know why they're on this island other than this one this one reason, but they've already like accomplished that. And so I'm like not sure like why they're still on the island. I think I missed a bit. I had a hard time like paying attention and listening to it for a little bit. And I think that's been a problem. Because now wow, I'm so orange, aren't I? Gosh, holy moly. I thought it was just like because I'm tan, but I think my white balance is skewed because this is very orange. But I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do some laundry because I got home earlier than I thought. I'm gonna do laundry, I'm going to water plants, and I'm going to finish Dead Silence. Wish me luck. I'm very sad. Unless it picks up and like it gets scary again in present tense, I probably will not update you till I finish it. because I have a feeling I'm just gonna be disappointed for the rest of this. Bye. I finished the book. I don't even know what time it is. It's 8:30, finished Dead Silence, and it was fine. You know, it brought it back. It was better. The second half was definitely, or the last 140 pages were definitely better than the first 200 pages, but it's still a 3 out of 5 stars. It would have been a 2 if like the second half went worse than it did. Yeah, not really that surprising. Like, I feel like if I really tried to think about like stuff, it would have been obvious. I just didn't try. I was just reading it. The reason behind the mania I liked because it takes, like, I don't know if this was the direct inspiration or just coincidence, but it's very similar to a historical event that I'm fascinated with. So I liked that, but again, it just wasn't scary. I needed more horror. But now I'm gonna read Vox Machina Origins 1 and eat dinner, and I'll talk to you later. Hi guys. Welcome to the end of this weekly vlog. The next day, here's the pile of the books that I've read this week, and it's not even all of it. And it is reaching up to camera view. It's crazy. I had such an amazing first week of August. Like, can we talk about that? It was phenomenal. But let's just quickly wrap up all the books I read this week. So the first book was Cemetery Boys, which went towards the prompt to read a book with necromantic themes. It's about a boy who literally is able to like bring people's ghosts back to like this world or whatever. It was okay. I found it kind of boring, and the moral of the story kind of got lost with who she made who they made the villain out to be. And then, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe even a little bit lower. Then I read I Killed Adolf Hitler by Jason. It was fine. It was kind of like a what if, where someone traveled back in time and tried to kill Hitler and stuff happened. It was fine. Gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And this went towards time theory, #1 to read a book with time travel. The next book I read was The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore, which went towards read a fantasy. I gave it a 3.25 out of 5 stars. Pretty disappointing. Don't really know why it was part of this series. And yeah, kind of a bummer. I also read before this Alice in Wonderland, which was to reread a childhood favorite. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Critical Role Caleb, or Critical Role Origins Caleb, which was to read a book with a familiar, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Critical Role Origins Jester, which was to read a book, like do random number generator and choose that book. It was Jester. I also gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I finished Dreams of Silver, which was to start a book with the drink. I started it with my coffee, and you know, there we go. And this was my favorite book in the trilogy, and I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Then the next book that I finished was Chronicles of Xandria, which was to read a graphic novel, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. And then I finished this trilogy with The Halfling's Gem, which I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that was just the second day. Then I picked up, I did not finish it, but I am almost done, and that is Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. And this is going to go towards read a book featuring a betrayal. Okay, and then what else did I read? Oh, and then I read to feature a book with wings on the cover, Once More Upon a Time. This was okay. It did not, like, it was short, but honestly, it could not have been longer. And it being still like a 3 out of 5 stars. I think it would have just dragged. It just wasn't anything special, by Roshni Chokshi. Then I read Petals to the Metal for have a color wheel, make it choose a random color, and read a book where the cover has that color. And it was purple, and there is actually a fair amount of purple on this page. It just doesn't like look like it on camera. But if you look at Taco's outfit, you can see it's very purple at least. I enjoyed it. It was a 4 out of 5 stars. Then to read a book with an L in the title, I went with Finley Donovan is Killing It. I really enjoyed this. I had such a good time. I gave it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. Then I I read for time theory number 2 to read a book with the same words in the title as your last read, so I read Finley Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. And I didn't like this one as much, but I did enjoy it, and I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I keep forgetting my audiobooks. I read A Cosmology of Monsters, which was to read a book with a single object as the focus on the cover, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Then, to read a book featuring artificial intelligence, I went with The Crystal Kingdom, and yes, there is artificial intelligence in this, in specifically one very big case. I kind of forgot that some of the artificial intelligence wasn't actually artificial intelligence, but one thing was. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Then, to read a book that was on someone's least favorite that you thought might be a favorite, and sadly it was not, is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It would have been lower if the second half kept going the way that the first half did. And then finally, for the last book, it was to read a book with archers or rangers. I went with Vox Machina Origins Volume 1. Vexalia is a archer and a ranger. Her class is ranger in Dungeons and Dragons, and I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. It is like, there's too much dialogue for a graphic novel. Like, graphic novels are supposed to be fast, and like, yes, I think I read it faster than I would have read a normal 170 page like book, but it still was so heavy on the dialogue. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And that's it, guys. Also, I got a decent amount of the way through The Bone Ships, which is to read a book featuring bones in the title or on the cover. I'm almost 75% of the way through. Like, I just have to listen to like 15 more minutes and I'll be 75% of the way through. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so here are some of the books that I read this week. This is a lot. I'm so happy with my progress. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.